Hello, my name is Jose Zarraluqui, and I'm here with Alexandra Fleitas. And today we're going to be doing an interview. I'm currently a senior at Clemson University. I'm graduating in August, and Alexandra is currently a market research recruiter, um, and she mainly deals with interviews and focus groups. And if you want to dive into a little more of the specifics, feel free.
Hello. So a lot of the things that we do are online. So I do work from home. I'm lucky in that sense. So a lot of the things that we do are online. Some of them, just to give you an example, we do like for right now, I have incontinence, not fun for you to hear, but we have a lot of incontinence studies going on now, as well as baby diaper studies, and we just send the products to the people's homes. They test them out for about 15 days. Some of them are 12 days, but mainly they are 15 days. And then they just answer surveys online. So that's one kind of market research that we do. And then we do the interviews one-on-one, where we just get data from one individual person, or we do have the focus groups that some of them are in person, but the majority of them are online.
Okay, thank you. And what would you say is the favorite part of your job?
So my favorite part of the job is talking to people. And as well as talking to people, I really enjoy when you're helping people that need money and they qualify for your study. So not, they're helping me and I'm helping them. So we do compensate them financially for their time and opinion. Um, and some of them do pay really, really nice.
Okay, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, so one other question I had was, who has had the most influence? Obviously, this interview is for my business ethics class. So, who has had the most influence um, in terms of your values regarding your ethics in business? Who has had the most influence on that?
Oof. So, I would definitely say a big part of that is my family, or all of it is my family, particularly my parents. But as an all, my family, they always have emphasized that your reputation is built over years, but it can be damaged in a single moment. So growing up, I learned that doing the right thing isn't always about um, what you can get out of it or get away with, but it's being able to stand behind your decision even when no one is watching. So that I think is really important professionally. Working in client services and market research reinforces that lesson. I regularly work with, like I said, participants, clients, and research teams, and I've seen that how they trust is built, or how trust is built on a foundation, and every successful business relationship is based off of that. So that's really what it's taught me: the importance of honesty, transparency, and treating people fairly, even when doing so isn't like the most convenient or cost effective,
Yeah.
even for a business.
Yeah. No, and that's very good that you have like you use your family as your center and that keeps you grounded and level-headed pretty much because I'm sure with a lot of external factors and like our society how it is, I'm sure there's a lot of corruption and
Oh,
in all kinds of in every field pretty much.
I mean, I
Um
have some people that want to try to participate twice in a study, and that's
yeah.
it. They're out. Well,
Yeah.
they'll never participate with us again.
Yeah. So that's very good and I will try to use that going forward. Because I think my family has also instilled good values in myself.
That's important. So
Yeah.
keep that going.
Yeah. And then can you describe a ethical dilemma that you might have come across or like observed or been involved in your career?
So an ethical dilemma that really it put me over, not over the edge, but it just left me feeling uncomfortable with the client. Um, I had a participant, and we asked the participants to arrive 15 minutes prior to the start of the session. This was a session that was in person, and it was in downtown Miami. The traffic is awful. Every other street is closed. Today, this street is closed. Tomorrow, it's not. So that is awful. So people don't take that into consideration. And this person, we asked them to arrive 15 minutes early. and they ended up arriving 3 minutes late. The client did let them come into the session, did have them participate for the full 2 hours. I think it was about a 2 hour session. So the full 2 hours. And then at the end of the 2 hours, when it came time to pay the participant, the client came up to me and said, no, that person we can't pay because they arrived 3 minutes later. So at that point, it was, what am I going to do? I have to advocate for my participant because that's not right. You collected the data, you had them sit, they sat there, wasted their time if they're not going to get paid.
Yep.
And you didn't tell the person that they weren't going to get paid, give them that option. So in the end, I had to advocate for my respondent. I had to tell them like, this isn't only a bad look on my business, but it's also a bad look on the client. Like that person is going to have a sour taste in their mouth regarding market research because, oh, they're going to have me sit through a 2 hour session and then at the end say, oh, no, but you arrived 3 minutes late.
Yep.
I mean, so at that point, I had to speak to them respectfully, non-confrontational, but explain to them that we need to be fair and consistent and maintain trust, in the research process. And yes, the person did arrive 3 minutes late, but you had the option to accept the person or not accept the person
Yep.
into the session. And that person was accepted. So they did what you asked.
Yep.
It wasn't to but they did what you asked. And then
Yep.
now, so we did come to an agreement and ultimately it was resolved. The client understood where I was coming from and I didn't understand where they were coming from, but we had to come to an agreement. And in the end, the participant was paid and compensated for their time. So
Yep.
that was a big one for us because that's what my business is based off of. People want to participate because they want to get paid.
Yep.
Life is expensive. People don't do things for free.
Yep. No, and especially since your client ended up spending like was accepted and spent 2 hours like doing everything, like that should be a given that they're getting paid. So I'm sure if
They
you
had
told them
to.
like we can accept you, but we're not going to pay you, like they would have walked right out of the door, I'm sure.
I mean, the reviews that I would have had on my Google
Yeah.
business
Yeah.
would have been, I mean, it would have been awful for me.
Yeah.
I would have lost clients. I would have lost participants. Maybe not lost clients, but my name would have been tarnished.
Yeah.
And it goes back to what I had said earlier, which is, you know, I, you have to do things not for when people are watching, but for in the silent moments so that in the end, you feel good about yourself and you know that you're doing the right thing ethically. Like you
Yeah.
said, that this class is actually a great thing.
Yeah. And then to follow that up, can you describe a time when this kind of ties into the last question, like sort of repeating myself, but can you describe a time when you or someone that you work with or that you know demonstrated excellence in ethics and how that impacted you in the long term?
Oh, that's a really good question. So I have a coworker. She's a young girl and she just started recruiting with us. We're kind of teaching her the ropes. And she got on a call and she started recruiting, screening the person. And as she was screening the person, she realized that this was someone that she knew. And in these market research studies, we can't screen people that we personally know. Um, so that was a no-no. And instead, she didn't have to say anything. She had just started with the business. We didn't know her. She didn't know us. We didn't know who she knew. And she came forward and told us that this person was someone that she knew. And, you know, that was big for us because she was going to get paid
Hmm.
for that recruit. She was going to make the money. She needed the money. She had just started working with us. And at that moment, you're scared to come forward and say, listen, this is what's happening. So instead, she came forward, she told us what was happening, and she took a step back and she didn't screen that person. Yes, it was a little bit more work for the other person that had to do her work for that person, but our business continued maintaining the reputation that it does. Um, at that time, the client would have never known that this employee knew the person.
Yeah.
But instead, she prioritized the integrity of the research and and she wanted the client to stay trusting us. Um, so when the client later learned about the situation, they completely thanked us for and appreciated the transparency that we had with telling them, what had the situation that we had had.
Yeah.
And as a result, our colleague developed a much better reputation for honesty and professionalism, which is a huge thing. And then that has led to her moving up. And she is now in a better position than she was.
Yeah. I feel like transparency, that's been one of the key values that Clemson has taught me throughout the years. That's necessary if you're going to be running a business or you're going to be working in advertising or marketing. Transparency with your clients is key because that helps build customer loyalty and it also builds your brand image and your reputation. And that kind of goes for all kinds of fields. Like even if you're working in law, like being transparent with your client is necessary.
Oh,
So.
yeah. If not, you lose clients.
Yeah. Yeah, if you just end up lying and then you're just drifting off from the line of or you're leaving your values um just for your benefit when you're harming your client.
Yes, yeah. And you can't
Yeah.
because they do notice.
Yeah. Well, that's all I had. If you want to add anything else about your experience or any advice you have for me, feel free. But thank you so much for taking the
Of
time
course.
to meet with me.
Of course,
Um,
thank you. Just always stay transparent, always stay truthful, and always remember that at the end of the day, um, like that question that you asked me, who is it? What was the question? I don't remember it exactly, but it was, who was it that has helped you shape your ethics? Like,
yeah.
always go back to those people, always reach out to those people, even if you're unsure, always just go back, and trust me that it'll be good.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Good
Well,
luck.
thank you. Have a good night.
Thanks, you too.
Thanks. Bye.